Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Belle again. So today, we're going to talk about Trump and Hegseth's press play backfiring. The Trump administration attempted to restrict journalism around the Pentagon. Last month, the Pentagon unveiled new rules and said reporters would need to sign a pledge to adhere to their new rules. Journalists say the new rules limit journalists' rights to gather and report information not officially authorized by the administration. Hegseth said that, quote, "Pentagon access is a privilege, not a right." That's a true enough statement. However, the idea of printing something only if the Pentagon says it's okay is Orwellian. And it might be literally Orwellian. A quote often attributed to him that might be apocryphal is, quote, "Journalism is printing something that someone doesn't want printed. Everything else is public relations." What seems like a desire to turn journalists into state stenographers didn't go over well. All major outlets have so far refused to sign the pledge. Even Newsmax refused to sign. If you're not familiar with it, it's a pretty pro-Trump outlet. The Pentagon Press Association acknowledged that the Pentagon has a right to create policies within the law, but also said, quote, "There is no need or justification, however, for it to require reporters to affirm their understanding of vague, likely unconstitutional policies as a precondition to reporting from Pentagon facilities." A joint statement from ABC News, CBS News, CNN, Fox News Media, and NBC News said, quote, "We join virtually every other news organization in declining to agree to the Pentagon's new requirements, which would restrict journalists' ability to keep the nation and the world informed of important national security issues. The policy is without precedent and threatens core journalistic protections. We will continue to cover the U.S. military as each of our organizations has done for many decades, upholding the principles of a free and independent press." Do you know how messed up your policy has to be to get Fox on the same page with other outlets? So, with the current stance of outlets, assuming they hold, Hegseth has put himself in a very uncomfortable position. He's limited his own press value, which is going to bother Trump a lot. Trump likes those headlines. He won't get them without Pentagon press. Beyond that, if journalists aren't afforded the privilege of access to representatives from the Pentagon, they'll develop their own sources, and Hegseth is likely to lose control of the narrative. Even if journalists ask themselves the question of, is it in the interest of national security, like President Kennedy once requested, the Trump administration loses control of the news cycle because private sources talking to journalists won't time their statements to create a favorable news cycle for the Secretary of Defense. Besides, a lot of journalistic icons have a theory that the truth is never told during the 9 to 5 hours. The Pentagon's new policy might force them to get more accurate information than they get from the Pentagon's briefing room. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.